Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Tonya, and in today's video we're going to be picking my June TBR, and I have no idea how 6 months of the year have already gone by. It is mind-boggling to me, and I can't believe that we're already 6 months into the year, and going into summer. It seems like the year just started, and I can't really wrap my head around how the year has flown by so far. If you are new to my channel and you haven't seen one of my TBR videos before, I typically pick out 5 prompts for my little TBR prompt jar here, and then I do one spin on a spinner wheel to pick a book off my 26 books to read in 2026. So that's basically how things play out. I have a very well stocked TBR cart here, plus I do have some books on my Kindle as well as some NetGalley ARCs, and all of those are in play for this TBR video. Now, as far as last month's TBR, out of the 6 books that I picked, I did make it to all of them. I did unfortunately DNF one of those books though, and that was Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, and we'll get into more why I DNF'd it in my wrap up for this month, but sadly I did not finish that one, but made it to the other 5 that were on my TBR. So with that all being said, grab yourself a tasty beverage. I have mine here, a little Diet Dr. Pepper. Sit back, relax, and let's pick out some books to read. All right, so let's get in here for the first prompt. And I, as usual, have pulled 2. And we got continue a series. And I am in the middle of a ton of series all the time, so this is a good one for me to get just so I can keep making progress. I know I have the 3rd book in the Mistborn saga on my Kindle, so that is an option. And then let's see what else we have here that would be continuing a series. Ooh, so I also have the 2nd book in the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown, which is Golden Sun. This is a dystopian fantasy series. I read the 1st book in the series in April, and I've been really wanting to get to the 2nd book. So, continue Mistborn or read Golden Sun? And I think it's going to be Golden Sun. So that's what we're going to go with for continuing a series. I absolutely loved Red Rising. It was a 5-star read for me, and can't wait to see how Darrow's story continues in Golden Sun. All right, on to prompt number 2. Well, I can read that one, so we'll just fold it up and put it back in and go with this one. All right, so prompt number 2, this is also fabulous. Pick a NetGalley ARC, and I do have quite a few ARCs coming up for June and July, so happy to get to some of those. So let's see what the options are. I know I have Witch Season by Julia Blanco, which comes out in July, so that's an option. I also have Asperfell by Jamie Thomas, and this one comes out in June, and I believe is a romantasy. And here's a little bit of the blurb. A noble woman with hidden magic, an exiled prince with dark secrets. Only together can they escape their magical prison and save their realm. Asperfell, legendary prison of mages, is home to violent criminals and demented spirits. No one has ever left. Bryony, as far as she knows, is neither mage nor spirit. Growing up on a secluded countryside estate, she has spent her life removed from the politics of the capital. But after her father is killed for sedition, the vicious King Carrick sentences her to death. Only by slipping through the gate to Asperfell can she save herself. To stay alive, she must find the former crown prince who was banished there to die years before. He holds the key to finding their way back home. So definitely sounds interesting. I like this thought of it being held in a prison that's, you know, for mages and these bad spirits. So sounds pretty good. And I think since this one is coming out in June, it's the one I'm going to go with. So the NetGalley arc is going to be Asperfell. All right, on to prompt number 3. We are just cruising right along here. And we're going to go with this one. Someday maybe I'll learn to put the sticky notes on the inside so they don't all stick together, but apparently I'm just not there yet. Pick a book with yellow on the cover. All right, so I know I have a lot with gold. I don't know how much I have with yellow. So Golden Sun would have been good for this prompt, but I already picked it. And let's see. I don't know if the Devils would be considered white or yellow. To me, that is a very light yellow. So I'm going to call it an option. I also have Wayward by Amelia Hart, but I'm hoping to do that one in the fall because it's a witchy book. And then this would be an option 2. This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me. That one has yellow on the cover. Also, I have A Kiss of Crimson Ash. And I also have How to Survive a Fairy Bargain, but that's book 2 in the series, so don't want to pick that one. And I kind of think, let me check, that Witch Season may have yellow on the cover. So let's see. All right, so a Witch Season does have a hint of yellow on the cover, but mostly there's not much. So far I have a romantasy and a dystopian sci-fi. So I think we're gonna go straight up fantasy with The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. And this will be my first time reading Joe Abercrombie, but I've really wanted to check out his books. I also absolutely love this edition. Let me show you real quick. So there's the front. And the end page is there. And on the back. And just from the look of the end pages, it seems to be like religious based in some way. I can't exactly remember what this one is about. So here's just a little bit of the blurb. Holy work sometimes requires unholy deeds. Brother Diaz has been summoned to the sacred city, where he is certain a commendation and grand holy assignment await him. But his new flock is made up of unrepentant murderers, practitioners of ghastly magic, and outright monsters. The mission he is tasked with will require bloody measures from them all in order to achieve its righteous end. Elves lurk at our borders and hunger for our flesh, while greedy princes care for nothing but their own ambitions and comfort. With an epic, hellish journey before him, it's a good thing Brother Diaz has the devils on his side. So I really think this is going to be a book I'm going to enjoy. I always think it's interesting to see how religion is portrayed in books, and this one definitely sounds like it's going to have some darker moments to it. I've also heard this one has kind of some dark humor in it, so that's something I typically enjoy, so can't wait to read this one. All right, and on to our 4th prompt. And we got start a new series. Lots of options here. So one of those would be Starside by Alex Astor. I know that's a fantasy series. Direbound, I have books 1 and 2 that I really want to get to. So picking up Direbound would be a good option. I don't know. Oh, it does look like it is. The Raven Scholar is a new series. Malice by John Gwynne would be a new series for me. And I think that is the main ones that would be the start to new series. Oh, I also have the Wind Weaver, and I know that one is a series as well. I have that one on my Kindle. So out of the options I have available, what exactly am I in the mood for? Oh, also, I have The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. I forgot that one. So I think I'm actually going to go with Malice by John Gwynne. I really loved his Bloodsworn saga when I read it, and have been wanting to pick up this series as well, and just haven't gotten around to it yet. I love John Gwynne's writing. He's not afraid to give you a what the F moment, and lots of different plot twists along the way. His books are typically Norse inspired, so I'm assuming this will be too. And taking a look here, Corbin wants nothing more than to be a warrior under King Brennan's rule, to protect and serve. But that day will come all too soon, and the price he pays will be in blood. Evnus has sacrificed too much, it seems, but what he wants, the power to rule, will soon be in his grasp, and nothing will stop him once he has started on his path. Verdus is the newest member of the warband for the High Prince Nathair. He is one of the most skilled swordsmen to come out of his homeland, yet he is always under the shadow of his older brother. Nathair has ideas and lots of plans. Many of them don't involve his father, the High King Aquilus, nor does he agree with his father's idea to summon his fellow kings to council. The Banished Lands have a violent past where armies of men and giants clashed in battle, but now giants stir anew, stones weep blood, and there are sightings of giant worms. Those who can still read the signs see a threat far greater than the ancient wars, for if the black sun gains ascendancy, mankind's hope and dreams will fall to dust. So I know I'm going to enjoy this. I can already tell. Epic fantasy is my favorite genre of fantasy, and this one sounds like it not only has, you know, the giants and the war coming with them from the sound of it, but there's also some political intrigue as well, which is another thing I always find really interesting in fantasy books. So this is going to be our book for starting a new series. All right, and then one final prompt out of the prompt jar, and then we'll spin our spinner wheel. Let's see, get way down there this time. Oh, how many do we think I have there? All right, so we're gonna take this one. And that is a new to me author. And I got lots of choices for this one as well. Both of these that I forgot to put back on the cart would be new to me authors. So A Kiss of Crimson Ash by Anuja Vargas, and This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Ilona Andrews. These would both be new authors to me. Then Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie would be new. Divine Rivals or Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I haven't read anything by her yet. Rings of Fate by Melissa de la Cruz would be a new to me author. Starside by Alex Astor would be new to me. So would Direbound by Sable Sorensen. The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgsons. And Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth, or Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter. All of those would be new to me authors. So far we have 2 fantasies, a romantasy, and a sci-fi dystopian. So I'm thinking I want to start being part of the hype and find out why so many people love Direbound. Now this one was the talk of BookTube and Book Talk last year, and I've heard a lot of people compare this book to Fourth Wing, but with direwolves. So I want to learn what the hype is about, and I think this is what we're going to go with for our 5th pick. I do know that kind of the general synopsis of this book is we're following a young woman named Marin, and in the realm that Marin lives in, they're at war with the country across the border, and that country has been coming across and stealing children from Marin's land. And her sister ends up being one of the ones that gets stolen. So Marin makes it her goal to get into the army so that way she can go to the border and try to find her sister. And in the army, you kind of have two different paths you can take. One is your standard foot soldier. You get sent straight to the front. That's all there is to it. The other is if you become bound to a dire wolf, then there's some additional training you have to do because of that bond, and you're more of an elite warrior. Marin has no interest in bonding with one of these wolves. She just wants to get to the border, find her sister. Well, of course, she bonds to a wolf, and things kind of go from there. So looking forward to this one. I'm finding out what all the hype is about. All right, so that is all of our prompts. So now we're going to move on to our spinner wheel. And out of my 26 books for 2026, I'm down to 15, which means I have read 11. So making pretty good progress so far on it. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to make it to all the books. So it's been good to have, like the spinner wheel in there each month. So I have some sort of guaranteed progress towards that goal. So let's see what today is going to bring us. Oh, and this is a good one. I had it on a TBR previously and I didn't make it to it. So I'm glad we are going to revisit it. And that is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang. I haven't read any books by M.L. Wang yet, and I've really, really wanted to. So this is my chance. And since I did miss it once, I don't want to miss it again in June. I'm going to make sure I make it to the book this time. And in this one, it is an epic fantasy. And from what I've heard about it, we're following a family that is kind of coming to terms with a war that is coming. The mother is a former warrior, and she gave up that life to raise a family. And now her young son is faced with this prospect of war coming to the land. And I really like that we're going to be seeing a little bit older of a female character, and that there's going to be a lot of family dynamic in this particular book. It is also a standalone, so that's always nice and something you don't see a ton in fantasy. So glad I'm getting the chance to pick this one up, and you all are going to hold me accountable that I am indeed going to read this book in June. So that's going to be it for today's video, and let's do a little recap of the 6 books that we picked together today. My book from my 26 books to read in 2026 is The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wang, and you all are going to hold me accountable that I'm going to read this book this month. And then my book with yellow on the cover is The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. For my NetGalley arc, we have Asprophel by Jamie Thomas. For continuing a series, we have Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. For a new to me author, we have Direbound by Sable Sorensen, and this one is actually a author duo. So each of these are Sable and Sorensen are 2 individual authors who have wrote this book together. And to start a new series, we have Malice by John Gwynne. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me and picking my June books. Let me know down in the comments what book or books you're looking forward to reading in June. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Take care, keep reading, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.